Hello, my name is Trydar. Welcome to part 6 of the Atlas Submarine tutorial. We will, of course, be finishing the tutorial today, finally. So you should have everything you need to be able to replicate the submarine in your own world. Let's get started. So let's see, where did we leave off? I believe it was on that last phase over there. So we are headed up to the conning tower at this level here. There's going to be a bit of glass here. So let's count back from where we started off here. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then for the 10th and 11th blocks, you want to have some glass like that there where the blue wool is. And then 12, 13, 14, and 15 to get back that far. And then we want to place a block here. And then we're going over 2. Then diagonally 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, then 2, 2, 3, 4, then 5, and then quite a distance of 28 blocks, and then 13 blocks for this bit here, and then what, 6, then 4, then diagonally 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then 2, and then 4, then 2, then 2, and then one more here to get that arc traced out for this level of the deck there. As you can see, there's quite a lot of terracotta and concrete in this section here because we're rapidly headed up to the top. And in here we have the interior of the conning tower itself. Now for reference, from below here, this is a ladder that leads back down. That goes all the way down to your main deck here. This is just sort of a drop-down ladder, by the way. Not really meant to be a main access point. It's just sort of a quick drop-down into your submarine. It goes down to the deck below there if you want to access it, which is the top deck, which we built last time. And also last time I gave you a good look here of the obsidian that is going to be used for the deck plates. And if you will be extending that ladder up, you can use that as a reference point here to get these measurements as well. And once you have done those, I'll give you a good top-down view of what you build beside those. As you can probably guess, you're building pretty much cyan terracotta ribbing on all the sides here, and your sea lanterns filling in the gaps of those along there. Not in every place. There's a little bit up there and aside from over here, and I believe these are where windows are going to be placed actually, so that is why there are no sea lanterns back there. And I think all that is fairly straightforward. Should be a pretty simple and easy phase for you to do. So let us move on again to the next phase and well, wait, I forgot. Hold that thought. We need to go all the way back here to take a look at the back, which I almost completely glossed over. So back here, let's actually measure that from where? I think back here, you should already have this part built. So 3 blocks from that, there is going to be what? 1, 14 blocks, and then a 15th. And then on the other side, you come back another 14 blocks and connect it all back there for that little bit. And on the sides here, you are, of course, building out a bit more of the cowling around the propeller and the rudder assembly, with some cyan terracotta like that. And then over here for 2 of the rudders, which are going to be on either side over there, with 4 blocks and then 4 blocks there, then that many blocks for that. And you want to be doing that on both sides back there. And let's go over to the next phase. While we're already back here, let's just go ahead and take a look at the next steps of that, which are fairly easy. You're just extending everything you did straight up over there and up and over here again, as you see done there. And I believe that this is forming part of the main rudder at the back here, is what we started. So you're extending all of this straight up there and straight up here as well, but you're cutting it 2 blocks farther back. So what if this was 14 blocks and this should be 12 to get all the way back there for that. And let's go back over here. We've got a little bit of glass up here for a light to the rear of the conning tower with over that sea lanterns that we placed in the last phase. But let's start at the front. And we need to start at this block here. And I believe that block will, I think that does correspond to this block here. So if there is some cyan terracotta underneath that, then yes. But I should count this back for you anyway. So from here all the way back to there is going to be what, 1, 2, 3, 13 blocks. So we want to start here and then go this way. So then 2, then 4, then 3, then a 4, but you're putting in a window here. And then 5. And then what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then a distance of 18 blocks. And then 3, then 1, 2, 1, 1, and then 3 for the back here. But our center line is coming through here, so it's really only 2 blocks. So there's the top-down view of this here for the conning tower. I think that it's not built directly on the last phase, but it's just pretty close. And as you can see back here, you are adding in pretty much alternating white concrete and cyan terracotta to get all of the walls correct. There's, of course, some small details of some glass panes by the ladder there. And a smaller room at the back here. Perhaps if you want to store some gear back here or something, you could do that. And we already covered that back there. So let's start with the next phase of the conning tower. So back here, this is easy. We're starting 2 blocks farther back, and we're going 2 blocks back here, and then 4, then 3, then 4 again for the next part of another window, and then 5, and then what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 19, then 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, and 1. Done mostly with yellow concrete on the edges back there, and of course on the interior here you can see that we are now 2 blocks up, so that means that you are adding in your glass panes on the cyan terracotta, as you see done along here. And of course the details in here for the walls and the windows, done according to these patterns here. Pretty easy. So let us go back here and now take a look at the rudder assembly. All right. So for the main rudder, we are stepping 1 block farther back and then making a run straight back to however many blocks that was here. I think that's probably maybe 11 back there. And we are stepping up and over the cyan terracotta again, like that there. And this is continuing straight up again there. Let's go to the next phase on the rudder. I believe this is now 3 blocks and 3 blocks, so there is a small change for this rudder back here. We're getting ready to finish that off in a couple of phases. Over here, we now have a gap where we build in the 2x5 back here for the cyan terracotta. And we are connecting it now with the main rudder assembly back here with just a bit more. And this is the same distance we've gone back there, so we want to extend that forward. that many blocks there and make this pattern here for the top of the rudder assembly, leaving gaps underneath here, as you see done here. All right, so nonetheless, let us now switch back to the conning tower. We are stepping 2 blocks farther back for that again and adding 2 blocks, and then 4, then 4 again, then 5, then 6, and then what, 1, 2, 3, 10, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then 4, then 2, then 1, 1, 1, and 1. To get all the way back here to the back. And I think you are already ahead of me on where the interior is looking in here. There's a small cross member here of cyan terracotta for a small doorway there. And we have some cyan terracotta ribs that are going to be connecting to form off the ceiling of the room of the conning tower, as well as connecting with this ladder here. And a lower down beam at the front here is connecting like that there. So remember, if you need to, just pause as we're going along and take a look at the block patterns, or download and view the reference models for yourself if any details I'm going over are unclear. All right. So let us switch back over and do the next phase of the conning tower. So we were on this phase last time. We are going 2 blocks farther back, and now we're going 3 blocks, and then 3, and then 5, and then 5 again, and then what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 1, 2, 3. 13, and then we are going out a little bit. We're going out 2 blocks, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 blocks, and then we're going all the way over to our center line in the middle here for that many blocks there. And as near as I can determine, this feature is supposed to be a bow plane, but it is on the conning tower instead of the bow. And I believe this helps control the depth pitch that the submarine goes down at when it is submerging or coming upwards. Ideally, this thing should either bend down that way or bend up that way. I believe that is the logic behind this particular structure. There's also a little hole back here along the center line there. So if you want to make this cut out like that, I believe that illustrates the general shape of that. And as you can see on the conning tower itself, we are connecting all of the cyan terracotta cross beams at the level of the yellow concrete, as we do, along through here, and a little bit more cramped in this front section here. And all the way over in here, we are just putting in some obsidian on top of the gaps down there. All right, so let us shift back to the rudder assembly and take a look at the next phases of those. So we are stepping this back again for another block. And then we are running this back for what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then it is connecting with the rest of the ring that we have been laboriously building for quite a few phases. I believe at this level here, we are now finished with this annular ring that goes all the way around the rudder and propeller assembly. I'm really not quite sure what it's for. Perhaps it's for stabilization, but it may also be for it may also have a useful function. And of course, out to the side of that, there's a little bit more cyan terracotta back there for that. And over here, we are doing a bit more of the rudders, side rudders for 3 blocks and then 3 blocks, as you see done there. And if we go to the next phase, I believe you are doing that yet again, and pretty much exactly the same way, making the concrete and terracotta patterns like that. And over here, we are now, as I said, finished with the rings. So we are building the main rudder assembly with the what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 blocks for that whole thing there. That's going to be pretty easy to do. As you can see, it's just going straight up on the back and it's curving together towards the front. So if we go back here to the conning tower again, we are going 2 blocks for the back and then doing a run of 3 and then 4 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and then a run of 16 blocks there, and then diagonally 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, and then a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then over 2 here, and then 1, and then straight run over to the center line here, where it should all connect. And I believe on top of this, we are setting things back just a little bit, so I will outline this with some red wool here, so that is easy for you to see there. And aside from a bit of white concrete at the back here, the most of it's going to be some cyan terracotta, as you see done there. And the details in the middle of this, as you can see, for all the visible ceiling, you are filling that in with obsidian. So let's climb down here into what is now the finished conning tower. So you can see this all from below here. And your room should look like this, which of course is different in shape, but bears resemblance to all the other rooms inside the submarine, because it's got all the same designs and motifs and everything. So let us go over to this next phase over here. And looking ahead, we've only got a couple more, and we will be finished with most of the conning tower. So we are stepping 3 blocks back here from where we started again, and doing 3 blocks of yellow concrete, and then 4, and then what, 6, and then 10, and then 9, then 3, then 2, 2 again, and 1. And I believe on the last phase we have also finished off adding the details for this 2-block thick bow plane that we have over here, or I guess since it's not on the bow, it's probably just a plane. But it is attached to the back of the conning tower. I believe on some submarines they are actually attached there, that I remember seeing. But I don't know what the, there may be a term for that I'm not familiar with. And in the middle of that, as you can see, you can just fill that in with any old block on the middle there. With some more cyan terracotta, or whatever block you have handy, or you can even leave it hollow. So back here for the rudders, which is the only thing we are working on the back now. We're in the home stretch of the submarine. So back here, you are cutting this, looks like it's directly on top of what you did on the last phase, actually. With that many blocks there. Yeah, that's just directly on top. But over here, we are now at 2 blocks and 2 blocks for the side rudders here. On the back on both sides. And I believe you want to do that twice to get the next phase over here done as you see here. All right, so let's take a look at the main rudder again. We are cutting 1 block back And then going, how many was that? 7? All the way to the back there. And over here for the conning tower, we are going 3 blocks back again here. And then going 3, then 5, and then what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then $15, then 2, 2, and 1. Very simple shape you're doing there. And you want to start putting in these patterns of concrete and terracotta and yellow concrete, like you see here, because these are details that are going to be appearing at the base over here of your periscope assembly. Also some sensors, I believe, and also a couple of lights. So over here, if you have built in the patterns from the last phase, you are doing just 1 block here, then 2, then 1, then 2, then 1, then 2, then 1, 3, and 1 more back there to get the base of the assembly that is going to be your periscope and sensor array. As you see done there, we are almost done with the submarine. We are now just building out the last of the rudders here. I believe for this phase, you are putting this directly on top of the previous one, so that doesn't need a measurement. Back over here, this is 2 blocks and then 3, but one of these is light blue stained glass, as the blue coral shows here. And that is because I've added a couple of lights in that. I believe if we go over here, we will see that there is a sea lantern. So we have 1 block on the outside, then 1 block here, and then a sea lantern. And then you are putting 2 more light blue stained glass blocks around that there to sort of seal off the light. But I suppose you could drop the glass over here if you don't like the how that looks. Back here, we are stepping 1 block farther back again, and then going 6 blocks for the main rudder assembly back here at the back. And then up here, let's take a look again at the periscope assembly, which you're doing with 2 blocks, then 1 block, and then 1, 1, and 1 made in that pattern there out of concrete and terracotta, like you see done here. So let's go on to the next phase of that. And over here we have, you're just going up a straight block with that there, and then 1 block over here for that there. And this will finish off the, I think these are sort of sensor domes or something like that. Done over there. And back here we have a bit more of your rudder going up like that there. And around here as well. I believe this, I think, almost will finish off that there. Those rudders. So let's go ahead and take a look at that over here. You just got 1 more block of glass, and I think actually, yes, that does finish off these side rudders, which we have been building for quite a long time. And to save a bit more of time, since all this is very clear to see, I believe from where we were at, I think that was over here. On the last phase, you can see that you're going up in 2 blocks, then cutting it back, 2 blocks, cutting it back, 2 blocks, and then 1 and 1, with a small piece of glass back here, or maybe not the glass, but to have a small sea lantern back here. And that will finish off the main rudder assembly all the way back here on the back of the submarine. And the back, which we have been building for quite a long time, that is finally complete. And over here, there are only some small little finishing details to add for your periscopes here. And the height of these is from the bottom. It's going to be, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 blocks there. So, give you one last look at that. And once you have done all of that in all of its vast array and minute complexity, your Atlas-class submarine will be at, no doubt, extremely long last, complete. So I hope you have enjoyed the tutorial for the Atlas-class submarine. It is now fully complete in all 6 parts. I'm sure it has no doubt been quite a beast to build, but hopefully you have found the process worthwhile. And this also will be concluding the Subnautica tutorial series, at least until I build something new, which I think it won't be until Below Zero comes out, because I still need to see what it is that they might be adding to that expansion. But I think at this point I will probably double back on the original precursor portal that I made and do some more with that style instead. So thank you very, very much for watching, and I will see you next time.